Hey guys, if you're new to the channel, I'm Tyler, owner of TNT Landscape and Masonry, and I was in desperate need of a cheap shop to house my equipment and attachments, and I thought of this. So this is part 6, I believe, in a series of videos on this container shop, and it's basically finished besides the siding, and I'm going to take you guys around, talk about how it's built, what's in it. At the end of the video, I'll break down all the costs and tell you how much I paid for this. It's made up out of 4 shipping containers, 1 on top and 3 down on bottom. So I ended up getting these sliding farm doors from Farm Tech. I got 2 of them. They were 12 by 12s. I ended up having them cut, so they're actually more like 12 by 10. They're actually really nice. The only problem that I had was all the hardware that it came with. It was all grade 5 and it was all too short. So the first windstorm, a bunch of hardware broke, but I switched everything over to grade 8 and got everything a little bit longer and beefier, and that seemed to work out good. So basically I have stoppers at each end. That way the door cannot slide any further. The shipping container is also stopping it from blowing in. So basically how I close it is I meet them in the middle, and I just have a lock here that keeps them together. And what I've been doing is parking a skid steer behind it, putting the bucket basically right on it so the wind can't move it. Eventually I'm probably just going to pour more concrete here and do some type of pin system down to the ground instead of worrying about having a skid steer blocking it. So one thing I was really worried about, especially before the doors, was all of the wind coming in here and making this container move around. I was actually watching my carport, which the loader sits under, and that thing swings side to side like crazy. And there was nothing really stopping this building here from doing that. So I ended up digging 4 feet down, putting 3 posts in the ground, attaching it to the sidewalls of the container and to the beams up top. And just for extra stability, I put some mafia blocks. That way this whole building can't shift around like this. So to keep the doors from actually moving out, I put rebar about 4 feet into the ground. That way these doors can't be swinging very far out. Farm Tech was supposed to send me a roller to put on these containers, but like about half the other stuff, they forgot that. So, and they probably wouldn't have been able to put a roller on these anyway. It's kind of difficult, so these should work just fine. So just to show you guys how much stuff can actually fit in here, I just jammed a bunch of stuff in, and I'll show you that right now. So my 2 550s will fit in fairly easily. It doesn't hit the metal or anything. It's not even really that close. And behind these trucks right now, I currently have 3 skid steers, a mini excavator, and a 13,000 pound tractor all stuffed in here. So that kind of goes to show you just how much I can actually pack in here if I want to. Typically all this stuff's on job sites. I just have it here just for the video, essentially. So we'll get everything cleared out of here for you guys, and I'll show you what it looks like without everything in it. We decided to do concrete. I was going to leave it gravel. The reason why I decided to do concrete is because we're going to be turning on this a lot, and to smooth out the gravel every time you turn in here with the skid steer would probably be a nightmare. So concrete was fairly cheap. I think it was like 7 grand. So you know, I thought it was a no-brainer. So basically, as you can see, I cut every inside wall out. To put in supports, I did 2-inch tubing welded, and I also have cross members going across welded to support the weight of the doors and just to connect everything. I ended up getting 4-inch I-beam and also welding that to the posts, and that stretches out all the way to the exterior wall. The top container as well is all welded to every single container that it's sitting on, and with it being on its side, it allowed me to actually weld to these 2 containers as well. So I got all this pallet racking, some of it new, most of it used. So basically it allows me to store our 5 truck plows all undercover. Before we used to store them in my shop, and we couldn't even utilize my shop because we had 5 plows in it. Basically took up the entire shop. So allows me to get 4 pushers in here, all on top and the sides. Like I said, 5 V plows, and obviously with all the hydraulic hoses, we don't want that out in the sun, cracking and stuff. So it's really nice to get all this stuff undercover. For the stuff that I'm going to be using quite often, I put over here, just because obviously I'm only going to be getting the winter stuff like twice a year. Once to get it, and the next time just to store it. So to limit my turning on the concrete, all the stuff that I'm going to be using a lot's over here. We got a lot of other stuff outside too, but like stuff like pallet forks. This is actually a ball hitch receiver, scaffolding setup. I just got that grapple a few days ago. We got 2 snow buckets over there, one on the other side as well, and 2 sweeper brooms on top here as well. So organization is a big thing with me. Being able to grab a certain attachment that I want to use very quickly and easily is huge. Back in the day, I'd have to move like 3 things just to get to it. Now with all this pallet racking, it's very easy to get to. So right now it's raining, and what's going to happen is water is going to start seeping up through here, but the contractor that actually did the trusses is coming back, and he's going to side that and flash it. That way it doesn't leak. Same with the front too. So I still really haven't finished cutting the walls completely out good yet. I still have a lot of D-rings up that I need to cut off. Just kind of a nightmare trying to get everything onto pallets and having those D-rings in the way all the time. Realistically, I think it's supported enough. Obviously, if you don't think so, comment in the comments down below. A lot of people tell me it's overbuilt, and some people tell me that I need more supports. For the exterior wall, where all the weight is on the trusses, I ended up putting 4 6x6s in, anchored to the wall itself, and also 3 2-inch steel tubings that are welded right to the exterior wall on both sides. So with this top container here, it's basically a lot of winter storage, a lot of my winter tires, winter rims. I even have a sander and a snowmobile up here. Basically anything that I'm not going to touch during the summer months is going to go up here. I got a lot of hate for putting this container on its side, but I am very glad I did. It's much easier to get the door open on its side. With it being upright, the roof would have been in the way, so it's very easy just to flop the door up with the skid steer. In the winter months, I support it just for the weight of snow. I actually installed the gutter just because the sides, it was kind of like having a dam up there and it was a pond. And it was condensating through a lot, but the gutter has basically fixed everything. Also having it on its side gives me more room. So it's 9.5 feet wide instead of 8. So with that pallet jack up there, I have another 1.5 feet, which is great. Another big thing is having it welded to every container. That was huge for me. Being upright, like I said, you'd only be able to weld it to the bottom one that it was sitting on. But with it being outside and resting on all 3 containers and being welded, I'm much happier with that setup. But yeah, my biggest regret with this whole process is not just putting these shipping containers right on a big concrete slab. In a way, it's probably all set. I mean, it has been through a winter and they didn't move at all. I checked in my transit and everything stayed the same. But looking back in hindsight, I probably would have done a concrete pad first and put it all right on this. So like I said, this is a 40 by 48, 1,920 square feet, not including the storage for the top container. Roughly right now, total investment, I'm at under $60,000. One of my buddies just got quoted for a 1,600 square foot shop, not a container shop, a legit shop, and that quote was $151,000. So looking back in hindsight, yeah, I saved about $100,000 by doing it this way. Yes, it probably decreased my property value by 50 grand, but you know, it's something that I can take down if I don't want it in 20 years, if it even lasts that long, and just do something with this completely level slab. So it's a win for me the way I look at it. As long as I get my stuff stored inside so the sun doesn't, you know, bake the paint and my hoses don't crack, it's a win for me. So any comments, recommendations, questions, obviously leave down in the comments below. Thanks you guys for watching.